What if I told you the Earth, Moon, and other planets in the solar system revolves around the Sun? That the Sun was the stable entity? Well, that was the belief for many years, until a major change occurred. A well-known American physicist, historian, and philosopher of science, Thomas Kuhn, was able to explain this change within his book, The Structure of Scientific Revolutions. Kuhn's main scientific goal is to find the truth in nature, following the concept of preventing, then accepting change. Kuhn's book and concepts follow his own work as a historian of science. When analyzing scientific history, he detected a pattern consisting of different phases that followed each other in a standard way. The phases of science Kuhn detected were as follows: pre-paradigmatic phase, normal science, crisis, and scientific revolution. Every science begins at the pre-paradigmatic phase. Normal science is the most common of phases that science remains in. In this phase, science follows a specific paradigm. A paradigm consists of laws and theories that are accepted and used by all. With a paradigm in any discipline, a scientist tries to build on research. The scientist is then guided by the paradigm and uses the paradigm to guide questions, answers, and easy solutions. Thus, the paradigm often shapes what is being asked and how they're being answered. Now that we have a better understanding of what a paradigm actually is, let us go through the phases of science. Pre-paradigmatic phase, or the phase before the paradigm. Within this phase, scientists work separately. They use different measurements, research, and ideas, believing their ideas are far more superior and correct than the others. Essentially, everyone is working alone. It is only until a single idea, theory, or measurement, for whatever reason, becomes dominant that a paradigm is established. At that point, scientists work together to help to advance and perfect the holes within the paradigm, which leads us to the following phase of science: normal science. Normal science is the phase where a well-functioning paradigm has been established. It is a period in where scientists share a paradigm, determination of scientific facts, matching facts with theory, and articulation of a theory. Normal science points towards continuity, does not permit advancements by revolutionary theory. But in reality, paradigms do not always remain in the normal science phase. Often anomalies or inconsistencies of paradigms come about. Anomalies are problems, a deviation from the normal accepted paradigm that scientists are unable to solve. Kuhn believes that there are always anomalies present within every scientific paradigm. But if those anomalies concern the central importance to the paradigm, then a scientific crisis is reached. Moving on to the following phase of science. Crisis is the point where scientists begin to lose confidence over their paradigm due to inconsistencies and significant unanswered anomalies that don't provide important answers for paradigms. Scientists become interested in new theories and concepts outside of the paradigm they have been using for all these years. The scientific revolution, according to Kuhn, is the phase of science where one paradigm is abandoned while another is accepted. This is also referred to as a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift includes the massive change in the acceptance of scientific research, also understood as foundation change. It leads to an irreversible switch of perspective and acceptance. Examples of scientific revolutions include the paradigmatic shifts from geocentrism and heliocentrism. Geocentrism was a scientific idea which stated that the Earth was the center of the universe. This was understandable because to ancient people looking up at the skies, it seemed evident that the sun, the moon, and the stars rotated around the Earth once a day. For the earthbound observer, the ground that you stood on seemed like a fixed point of reference, a flat plane from which to watch the circling cosmos. And over time, thanks to ancient astronomers, a formalized system began to emerge that put the Earth at the center of all things. This concept continued to endure well into the 17th and 18th centuries, by which point the model's inconsistencies, anomalies, will lead it to being abandoned in favor of the heliocentric model. We have presented to you different times in scientific history where paradigmatic shifts have occurred. This has occurred because scientists have learned more about the world as time has gone by, and thus have added to the progress of science. Current science is thought to be better than past science because it fits the standards of the current paradigm better. However, according to Kuhn, there's no neutral standard to assess which of the two paradigms is better. Kuhn defines this as incommensurability, the lack of comparability using a neutral standard that's comparable to both. Opposing paradigms are incommensurable because there's no objective way to say which is better, because the standards used by earlier scientists are no longer adhered to.